I've spent a while watching this water here, you guys, and I haven't seen any feeding fish, so I'm instantly going to assume that a dry fly is not going to do me any good here. So I've switched over to a subsurface fly and a streamer, and I'm going to start off with that. I'm going to pull off an appropriate amount of line so that I can cover and fish the water that's right in front of me first. Most people are instantly going to go for the opposite bank. Every fish between me and where that fly is hit has now seen my fly line and is potentially spooked. So you really want to make sure that you cover the water that's right in front of you first. You're never sure where you're going to come across a fish. And I'll start off at the top end, work my way down to the bottom end, fishing it as thoroughly as I can. Once I've covered a section of water 2 or 3 times, I'll pull off a little bit more line, or I'll step downstream to cover new water and potentially different fish. What I tend to do is I tend to fish streamers extremely fast, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to gauge how active these fish are right now and how willing they are to come to the fly that I've got on. If I notice that a fast retrieve isn't working at all, I know instantly that I should probably slow things down and try to fish it a little slower. One of the things I'm noticing right off the bat, you guys, is that we have a lot more water here today than we did the other day. This fly is not sinking at a fast enough rate to get down to where the fish are. Now, like I mentioned before, these fish don't really like bright sun, so most of these fish are going to stay locked up on the bottom and wait for the food to come to them. As light levels drop, the fish are going to feel a little bit more secure about coming out and moving around a little bit, and that's when you'll find the fish get a little bit more aggressive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a heavier fly to get the fly down quicker and in front of those fish. Remember, you guys, that fish see in color as well, okay? They don't see in black and white, otherwise every fly that you see tied out there would be tied in shades of gray. They do have rods and cones in their eyes, so color can make a difference, okay? I generally tend to choose white because I'm able to track the fly under the surface and I can see the fish's reaction to my fly. But white isn't always going to be the answer. Sometimes brown, sometimes black, sometimes olive. It really all depends. So you have to be willing to experiment a little bit. Like I can tell you right now, white is not working. So maybe we should go with a different color. Maybe we just haven't put these flies in front of the fish's face because the water's moving a little deep and a little quicker than it was yesterday. It's important to remember, you guys, not every spot that looks good is going to have fish in it. There we go. Notice I covered that spot, you guys, several times before, and I made a color change and it instantly changed up. So that goes to show you that color change can make a big difference.
Finally, talk about how you're playing that fish with 2-point control.
Notice that I have, you guys, one hand that's controlling the line, one hand that's controlling the rod. Every time I reach for that line, it is right here where I need to grab it. So I can focus entirely on what is going on with the fish, and I don't have to focus at all with what's going on with the rod, because every time I reach for it, the line's there for me to be able to strip line in and get an advantage on the fish. Okay? I'll also use my finger as a trigger brake. So if this fish decides to make a surge, I'll allow him to take as much line out as he wants at a regulated rate. I'm not just going to let go and let him take line. If he really pulls, I'll loosen my grip a little bit on the line so that he can take it out at a pace that's going to tire him out but still give me control. Once that fish is fairly tired out, I'm going to strip in a good section of line so that I can put heavy pressure on the fish and hopefully bring him straight to the net here.
And that's the key. Bring the fish to the net.
Fly is out and it's clear. Guys, here's something important to remember when it comes to releasing. A lot of people will get that fish in and they'll instantly just dump him right back into the stream. Well, if you've been playing him for a while, remember, you've got to give him a chance to catch his breath, okay? So I'll keep him in the water, in my net, facing upstream so that he's getting oxygen over his gills. Then I'll take him out of the net, gently place him in, and let him swim off under his own power. I don't want to just let go. When he's ready to go, he'll swim. Like right now, he's just resting. He's working that lactic acid out of his system, and as soon as he is ready, he'll just take off, just like that.